This is Kyle with WMMA Fighters, and I have Chelsea Lagrasse on with me today. How you doing, Chelsea?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. Thanks for being here, and thank you for your patience.
Yeah, no problem.
That was really frustrating. So yeah, you just complete a fight, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This Friday.
Yeah. Now, who was that with? What promotion?
Mamba Fight Night.
Okay. Um, where was that at?
It was out of Vancouver, Canada.
Vancouver. Nice.
Yeah.
Um, so how many fights have you gotten in your career so far?
I've had three amateur fights
Hmm.
and three professional fights.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, so how was the travel for your last fight?
A little rough.
Hmm.
I had some flight delays and some canceled flights, and you know, the time difference is always an adjustment. But I made it. I survived.
Yeah, I'm a case on planes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like real bad. So
That
um,
doesn't matter too much.
it just freaks me out. I don't know why. So if you wouldn't mind, let's walk through what got you to where you are today. What do you do, and really what you love most about MMA?
I have always been a active person. I'm a personal trainer for my career, my
Hmm.
job. So it's always been a big part of my life, exercising and working out. But I didn't start doing martial arts until about 3 years ago. I wanted to learn some self-defense and started going to an MMA gym and jiu-jitsu and wrestling and kickboxing, and I just fell in love with it. I decided to try competing. I just was gonna do like one fight just to say that I did it, but I
Hmm.
really fell in love with it and wanted to keep going and see how far I could go with it. So here I am now.
Nice. Well, definitely congratulations making it to where you are.
Thank you.
Um, so obviously, being fit and those kinds of things are very important in your life. And um, do you do any personal training or coaching at all?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I don't do any coaching for MMA fighters.
Hmm.
Most of my training is for I have trained other athletes, soccer players, runners, golfers, volleyball players, and then just general fitness, helping people lose weight and
Yeah.
build muscle, get in shape, and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's what I do for my full-time job.
Nice. Yeah, that's really cool. Got a lot of respect for that. So what weight division do you compete in?
So I recently moved down to atom weight. I was
Hmm.
originally at flyweight, but I think atom weight is where my sweet spot is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So flyweight to atom weight, huh? That's quite a drop.
Yeah, when I first started fighting, I was walking around a little bit heavier than what I walk around at now, and
Hmm.
so at an amateur level, it's not as big of a deal. You don't want to be cutting too much weight as an amateur, but when you're a professional, it's a little bit different. So that's why I decided to give myself a little bit more of a competitive advantage and go down to a lower weight class.
Okay. Yeah. So you got that weight cut down. Is it not too bad for you?
It's not too bad. I mean, it's not the most fun thing in the world, but it's cool.
Yeah. Um, so do you when you train MMA, what is your favorite thing to work on? Are you more of a grappler or a striker or a wrestler?
I like all all aspects of the sport.
Hmm.
I would say that, working on my striking is probably my most favorite thing to work on, but all aspects of the sport. I love jujitsu and judo and wrestling and Muay Thai and all parts of it.
Okay. Now, growing up, did you participate in any sports?
Not really, honestly. I mean, I played some little league stuff when I was a little kid, but junior high and high school, I was more into music, choir, and
Hmm.
playing piano and the flute and stuff like that. I didn't play sports at all.
Oh wow. Um, do you still play the piano and you still
Yeah,
into music? Yeah.
yeah, I still play the piano and sing from time to time. I don't play the flute anymore, but it's still a fun little hobby I like to do.
Yeah, that's great. I love those kinds of things. In school, music and art and stuff. I think that's pretty important to do.
Yeah,
Um, it, yeah, it's a shame that that's always the first things that gets cut. When funding comes around, it's kind of
yeah,
weird, really.
yeah.
So when you what is your training camps usually like, or how far out do you like to be between fights?
Uh, I don't have a particular amount of time in between fights. I mean, 4 fights a year is good with me.
Hmm.
Maybe one more, give or take. One or two more. But I like to have plenty of time in between to improve and to strategize for each different fight. Um, but it really just depends on what opportunity presents itself at the time. If there's something that I feel I need to take, if it's only I've taken fights on 4 week notice before.
Hmm.
I prefer to have more time than that, but you
Right.
gotta do what you gotta do. I always try to stay ready no matter what.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the landscape of the sport nowadays. I think you almost have to be that way.
Yeah,
Like you said, because you took one on 4 weeks, and it's one of those things that you could potentially get a call at any time.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
exactly. Yeah,
Um,
and you don't want to have to say no to something because you're not ready.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. It's like it's unfortunate, but it's interesting at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, I understand it, and I really it's one of those things. If you're in a position where you can handle it, I think being active is probably a better way to go. Obviously, if you're in a lot of pain or you got a nagging injury, you probably shouldn't. Right.
Yeah, you
So
gotta look at your body.
yeah. So what are some things you like to do in your downtime? I can't imagine you have too much of it, but if or what's a perfect weekend or time to yourself look like?
Most of my downtime is spent with my boyfriend and my daughter.
Hmm.
We like to we like to go hiking and do active things, go out to eat, go watch movies, just relax. But yeah, there's not a lot of downtime. You're right about that.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that's cool though. I have a daughter myself, and you just try and get as much time in as you can because
Mhm.
it's just the way things are, and sure you have a very busy schedule. So are you? What are some of your goals? Are you trying to fit another fight in 2018, and what are you shooting for in 2019?
I probably won't have another MMA fight this year.
Hmm.
I'll probably take the rest of the year just to train and enjoy the holidays. I foresee fighting, at least three times in 2019. I want to do a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments
Okay.
next year also, and really focus a lot on my jiu-jitsu and working on my blue belt,
Hmm.
um, stuff like that. I'm open to even doing some, kickboxing or boxing exhibition, whatever comes my way, really.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. A lot of fighters are sitting in that 3 to 4 fights a year, and they're doing a lot of grappling tournaments, and it seems to really be paying off. A
Yeah.
lot of the women fighters, which is I think it's great. Um, so how do you get into those? Is that something that usually your coaches or your gym kind of helps you line up, or how do those usually work out?
Yeah, I there's a lot of different social media pages and things
Hmm.
that I'm to that they try to keep you up on the events happening around your area. And my gym is really good about letting us know when tournaments are that are close to us as well. So you basically just pick the ones that you want to go to and you register and um, some other teammates to go with you and your coaches.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. I think it's great, and what I love about it is it definitely seems like in the women's divisions, the fighters are becoming more well-rounded.
Hmm.
And that's one of the many things I love about it. So how important do you think it is from a fighter's perspective to be less specialized and more focused on being as well-rounded as you can be?
I think it's very important because, it's great to be superior in one thing, but like take Ronda Rousey, for example. She did really well for a long time because of her great skill in judo
Mm-hmm.
and jiu-jitsu, but that only took her so far.
Right.
you know, Eventually she couldn't keep up with the striking aspect of it. So I definitely think it's important to be well rounded because eventually someone is going to take what you're good at and they're going to try to use that to their advantage and find your weaknesses.
Right.
It's definitely important to work on all aspects of the game.
Okay. Now, who or let me ask you this: are you a fan of the sport, or were you a fan of the sport before you got into it?
No, I didn't become a fan of the sport until I started competing and
Yeah.
training. I knew nothing about it before, nothing.
Yeah, yeah, that's really interesting. I love asking that because it's usually your answer, and that's kind of crazy to me to think about it.
Yeah.
But I can see that. So when you started getting into it, did you have fighters that you enjoyed watching that maybe influenced you or motivated you? I guess.
I mean, Ronda Rousey was a huge inspiration to me.
Mm-hmm.
She was very big when I first started, and she kind of made it very mainstream, and that caught my eye. And then I started getting more into it and started researching and finding other fighters that I like to watch, and any female fighter I enjoy watching. Um, but there's the ones that are closer to my size in particular, like Jessica Andrade and Michelle
Mm-hmm.
Watson, Paige Van Zant, and there's some newer girls, Invicta, that are on the shorter end that I like to watch their style, how they things like that.
Yeah.
So but any of the females I enjoy watching. I just like to see the different styles and skills out there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely some great ones, and like you said, in your area, as far as weight classes go, it's like the talent is super high,
Yeah.
and the skills and the varying skill levels and all those things. So that is what I like most about it. So what are some of your goals that you want to accomplish? Um, in this sport. I mean, obviously, every fighter wants to be a champion, but what are some things you really want to get out of this?
Um, I just want to go as far as it will take me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether whether that means being the world champion or if I never make it to the UFC, that's okay. I just
Mm-hmm.
want to and train and grow, and whatever opportunity comes my way, then I will take it and take it as far as I can.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I think that's a really good way to look at it. So when you do these shows, or not shows, these events, that's the word I was looking for. How do you feel the fan reception is to the female fighters?
I think that people enjoy watching the female fights way more than
Yeah.
the male because there's so many more male fighters. It's
Mm-hmm.
easy to get as a male, and usually there's only one or two female fights on the card. So I think everybody looks forward to those as well. Plus, we always, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and um, it's changed so much. And it's changed so much just in the last year and a half.
Yeah,
It's crazy how it's really coming around. So I always like to just get a fighter's perspective on that because it's interesting to me
yeah,
because
I
you
agree.
see it from. All right, so now we're gonna get into we ask hard hitting questions here. So what are some as far as so I know you're fit and everything, but as far as some of your guilty pleasures with food, what would those be?
Well, Since my fight is over and I'm not cutting weight, I have been pretty flexible with myself this
Mm-hmm.
week.
Nice.
My biggest thing is ice cream, and chocolate. I have a terrible sweet tooth. Staying with chocolate or peanut butter or ice cream, I have a weakness for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll get me every time.
Yeah. All right. Now, do you like pizza?
I do love pizza, but when it comes to like salty or greasy, I gotta go with chicken wings.
Okay.
That's my thing. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'm right there with you. Now, I got to ask because we had like a 15-minute conversation one time a few months ago. Does does like I said, we ask hard-hitting stuff here. Um, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Absolutely. Of
Oh
course.
no, she says yes. Cassie's real excited about that.
Yes.
Yeah, she is. She is definitely team pineapple.
Me too.
Okay. Well, yeah, my team is heavily outnumbered, but I always have to ask that. And I know weight cutting and those kinds of things. It's not always easy. Um, so like you say, you're being a little flexible this week. Are you gonna? Hey there. Are you when does the diet start back up for you?
Um, I don't know. Probably by the end of the week, I'll get
Yeah.
back. I still try to be a little bit flexible with myself when I'm not in training camp.
Mhm.
And I fight coming up, but I still eat clean. 85-90% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite time of year as far as seasons go?
Summer's my favorite, but I
Yeah.
also like fall too, so I'm okay with fall coming.
Yeah, it's crazy. We both understand Ohio weather, so
Yeah, Ohio too, so you get it.
this place is like it's impossible to predict the weather. It's even more so in Ohio. I don't.
Yeah,
It's
never.
ridiculous. Yeah, it's crazy. But so summer and fall. Do you do you like traveling?
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
traveling.
Where are some places you've been, and if you could go anywhere right now, where would you go?
So that's one reason that I love fighting too is,
Mm-hmm.
traveling all the different places that I get to go. Going to Canada was fun and going to Japan to fight was really fun. I got to go to Colorado this past summer too, and that
Nice.
was really going to the mountains and hiking, doing lots of hiking and stuff like that. I really want to go to Greece,
Okay.
and I really want to go to Thailand. So those are the two at the top of my list right now.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be really killer if you could get out to Thailand and maybe train with Tiger.
Yeah, I would love to get some training in while I'm out there.
Yeah, that place is no joke. I know a lot of the fighters that I follow really closely spend some time out there, so that'd be a great opportunity for you.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your fight camp. Now, when you go from your daily training or your weekly regimen, and you're in camp mode, at what point do you have like a cutoff of learning new techniques and just focusing on your game?
I don't think there's any particular time.
Hmm.
Um, when the new stuff starts clicking and it's not new anymore, it's starting to become muscle memory.
Hmm.
You know, that's when we stop working on the new stuff and we just keep pushing what we've been working on and making sure that we know what our game plan is, we know what we want to do in this fight, and then going back to basics and making sure that we're remembering the basics as well. And then just keep going over that stuff over and over again so it's muscle memory, you don't have to
Hmm.
think about
Okay. Now, I hate to ask this because it's kind of depressing, but life after fighting.
it.
What you want to continue the path of training, or do you think you would like to get into coaching someday, or kind of where's your mindset at on that?
I will definitely continue to train.
Hmm.
after fighting, after no more fighting and competing. I can definitely see myself being a coach.
Hmm.
My career goal as far as a personal trainer is to have my own gym.
Okay.
So I would love to combine all of that together, the fighting and just the general fitness, all into one gym and coach and even maybe corner people. Maybe even be part of the athletic commission where I live someday to be a ref or a cut man or something like that. I want to continue to be involved in the sport.
Yeah, that would be terrific. I really have liked talking to you. I can tell that you're really driven. I can just kind of get that vibe. Is that is that something you've always had drive, or is that something you developed later in life, or is that tied to your fighting experience?
I think that I've always had it, and I think that the experiences that I've had in life have just made it more
Mm-hmm.
intense and have given me more drive and more motivation. Having a daughter that has definitely motivated me more in life than before her. Um, so I think I've always had it. I think just everything that I've done and have put myself into has made it more intense.
Yeah, yeah. That's. I mean, you gotta be. You know what I mean? You absolutely have to be driven, and especially to compete in this sport, that it's a meat grinder.
Yes.
And it's kind of it's an interesting sport because it's very similar to boxing. It doesn't really appreciate its legends like a sport like baseball does. I mean, you do it long enough and you don't let it go, you're just gonna get beat up. You know what I mean? Because it's just the way it is. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to be driven, and that's really cool. I love talking to people like you because it always helps me, it motivates me. So yeah, you've definitely a lot of great insight. And now I wanted to ask you, do you have merchandise, or is that something you're getting into? Are you designing something?
No, I don't have any merchandise or anything like that.
Hmm.
I am working on starting my personal training online.
Perfect.
So, people can be looking out for that. I'm going to start promoting that and
Okay.
offer services to people that way too. So people can train with me if you don't live close to me.
Yeah, that's great. Now, if you want to, when you get there, just send me some info and I'll get it out too.
Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty cool.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, that's
appreciate
why
that.
that's why I asked that. And now, do you have a nickname yet?
I don't have a nickname.
No.
No, they haven't given me a nickname, and I think that I don't need a nickname, and I just need my name. But
Yeah.
if everybody wants one, I'll whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Those, yeah, sometimes they come or they don't, right? And
I'm
it's
not
it's
sure.
yeah, it's always out of nowhere. So,
So.
all right. Well, so you're just gonna take it every day, each day at a time, the rest of the year.
Yep.
So be excited to see you get back in there next year. It's crazy that 2018 is almost over.
Tell me about it. I can't believe it.
It has blown by, and I really appreciate your time. And sorry about the issues up front.
That's okay. Thanks for having me.
Oh no, yeah, I'd love to talk again if you're interested, and would definitely love to talk when you got a fight scheduled.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, thank you so much for your time, and like I said, once you get that stuff running, let me know, and we'll push it out as well.
Yeah, we'll do for
All
sure.
right. Well, thank you so much, and have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. All right, that was Chelsea Lagrasse. That was a good conversation with her. She's almost a neighbor of mine. She was pretty close, which is pretty cool. Tomorrow we got Rachel Kimbrough on, and then we have Cade Dement and Brittany Neiman on Saturday. So we got 3 more fighters to go in 2 days. So thanks for checking this out. We'll have this uploaded to Facebook and YouTube either tonight or tomorrow. So everybody have a good night.